good afternoon to you. Is it afternoon?
Yes, it is.
And have you been celebrating the Eagles' victory all day long?
And
Or
and you know this.
exactly. So congrats on that end.
Thank
Oh,
you.
before I ask you tons about the new record and all that, what goes through your mind when you see that halftime show?
It was okay, but you look for more. You know what I mean? No matter how good it is, you still want more. So I just leave it like that.
For sure. Well, speaking of great music, congrats on your new album. The
Thank you.
the band sounds great, star-studded appearances, etc. How did you guys first encounter Tom?
Well, Tom, we had worked with Tom a few years back. He was our opening act on one of the tours that we
Hmm.
do every year when we come to the UK. And so we had been working off and on, and he brought it to management that he wanted to do a project, and it all just out of nowhere, just boom, came together just like that.
Got it. So Tom has his UK roots. If you follow him on social media, he got married in Italy. He's a man of the world. But meanwhile, you
Yes,
made this album.
as a matter of fact, his wedding, we did his wedding.
I did not know that, but
Yes, yes.
he's over there. Then I believe that this is the last album that was tracked, or one of the last albums tracked at the Record Plant in Hollywood. Yet it was also tracked in Philadelphia. Yet also Baltimore, Maryland. Yet also muscle shows. So, like, was
Right.
this album 10 plus years in the works?
Well, not knowing how long Tom had been working on it or how long he had the idea of putting it together,
Hmm.
but when he brought it to us, the latter part, the early part of last year, you know what I mean, and presented it to us what he wanted to do and how he wanted to do it. It just felt like I said, everything just fell into place.
I came up with the 10 years because I was thinking of logistically how many studios, cities writing it, etc. So
Hmm.
it's not like you made it in 2 months and went, here it is.
Well, and, like I said, the preparation was on him. So once he finished doing what he was doing, he brought it to us, and we was listening to different songs.
Hmm.
Presented the song that he presented, and the songs that Arian wrote 2 songs on the album.
Hmm.
So along with that, we just started listening to songs. And said, okay, we like that one, or this one sounds good. Okay, let's go with that. And when he brought the Shania Twain song, it
Yeah.
just took on another life.
So I know that the Stylistics inspired a lot of key artists. I think Betcha by Golly Wow, Prince's version basically is the Stylistics version, and that's the first time he had ever released a cover. In
Right.
your case, when did you start to notice that you were not just a commercially successful band, but an influential one too?
Well, along the way, there were other artists that recorded our songs in their catalog,
Hmm.
and the only thing I can say to that is whenever anybody or any other artist choose one of your songs to do, that's an honor. You
Hmm.
know what I mean? That out of all the songs that are out there, they happen to choose one that you did, and it kind of highlights not only the group but the writers and the producers of that particular song.
Right. Well, looking at this new record here, having Gene Simmons from Kiss, Justin from The Darkness, Shania, Ray Parker Jr., Nathan East, Luke from Toto, etc.
Right.
Very star-studded record. When you started working on this album and you knew that you were going to do the album, did you know that there was going to be so many guests and cameos?
Not at all. Not at all. All of that started coming together as the project started going forward. And I guess all of that happened through Tom with
Hmm.
his association with all of those folks, you know what I mean? And everybody just wanted to be a part of it. You know what I mean? Which was great because it's the first time that we ever did a project of such nature with other artists all over the place. You know what I mean? And it's good to have that collaboration with them doing what they did. The only thing is that we were never in the studio at the same time.
Right.
We did our part, and they did their part. We did our part, they did their part, and then this all came together.
When Tom lands a big surprise like that, Does he clue you in along the way, or does he just play the track and go, by the way, that's so and so?
Well, he would like, if it was somebody that was going to be on a certain track, he would say, well, I'm gonna get with so and so and so and so heard the track and wants to be a part of it, and it just happens. You know what I mean? And then along the way, if there's something that he hears, and knowing all of those artists that we talked about, if he felt as though that they could add something to the project with
Mhm.
what they do, then it happens.
I admire how willing you were to leave control to Tom on this project because a lot of artists who have 50 plus years of success would go, I know what makes a great record. I don't believe producers anymore. I don't need a
Hey,
producer. Did you know all along that you had that ability to let go?
well, from day one and going into the studio and that working relationship with Tom,
Hmm.
we said, okay, let's go for it. We knew that he knew what he was doing, and
Hmm.
and from the production end of it, and there was no need to, say, well, hey, nah, da, da, nah, da, da, nah, da, da. I mean, we had input. Don't get me wrong. To
Right.
say, Tom, if I try to, try the vocal this way, this will happen. If I try the vocal that way, it will happen. So we didn't have to go knock heads. You know what I mean? He
Hmm.
had a direction. We followed that direction because it was going in a good way.
So when people come to see you live on upcoming shows, are you doing a couple of songs from this record?
Oh, we're gonna have to. We're gonna have to. You know what I mean? There's a lot of great works, and I'm not the same because I was part of it, or we were part of it. But there's a lot of great songs that was on this project, that needs to be exposed to our market. You know what I mean?
Sure. So I'm gonna say yet again, congratulations on this new record. Do you know what the next year or two for the band looks like?
Well, we're still touring. We'll definitely do another UK tour this year, and
Hmm.
of course, when we finish the UK tour, we always go to Japan.
Hmm.
And so our work is constant, constant, constant. Like as we speak, this week right here with the Valentine's Day weekend coming up,
Hmm.
we are about to do like a 5 day run with this. And then with 2 days after that, we'll be in Seattle, Washington for like 5 days. So the work is constantly going on. So the beautiful thing about that is that we have work to expose the new stuff into the show.
Right. So when I was talking before about Prince covering Betcha by Golly Wow, and it was your version,
Right,
Simply Red, of course, covered one of your biggest songs. And
right.
Simply Red here in the US is kind of like a two or a three hit band where they were successful, but they weren't this arena level band like they were in the UK and the rest of the world.
Yeah, yeah.
And mentioning that, you're going to the UK, you're going to Japan and all that, it sounds like overseas, you never got pegged as an oldies act, the stylistics were always cool and top 40 and mainstream.
We were very blessed and very fortunate with our fan base, our record buying market, is that no matter what, even though it's been 100 years, I could say, since we had
Yeah.
a record out, but they was always still there because of the past stuff that we did. So that allowed us to keep on working because we had big hits over in the UK and in
Yeah.
Japan. So that kept that door open for us to constantly work. So we're blessed to be every year to be able to do the same tour over and over and over and over, and the fans are still there.
Now, does it bother you the fact that Americans were slow to stay loyal, or did that make it easier because you could still go to the post office and the bank very easily in your hometown?
Well, it. A lot of people, if I can, I'd like to tell a little story about that.
Please.
When we stopped working with Tom Bell,
Hmm.
a lot of folks thought, oh, they had all these hits. Now they big headed, and they doing this, and they doing. But it was not on us. It was on the record label.
Right.
The record label wanted more out of Tom Bell, but because of his workload, he couldn't do it. So the president of the record label took it upon themselves. They would say, well, we'll produce the group. It changed the sound from what we were used to with
Hmm.
Tom Bell, with the Betcha by Golly Wild, You Everything, You Make Me Feel Brand New. It took a different sound, but what happened was we started working with them right in the offset of disco music.
Mm-hmm.
So with the I Can't Give You Anything, Sing Baby Sing, star on a TV show, all those songs were being played in discos throughout the UK. So
Mm-hmm.
that kept us going. That created another market for the group. You know what I'm saying? Other than the market that we had here in the States. But even though we started losing the market here in the States, we were gaining markets around the world. So one hand washes the other, as they say. You know what I mean? But I just want people to know that it wasn't on us being big-headed and walking away from Tom Bell. That
wasn't my assumption. My assumption is that producers, once they have a couple of big hits, they're always thinking, well, how do I delegate some of this and have my own label and have my own publishing company, and then it's all over. So
what happened with that is, like you say, Tom Bell just got busy because everybody was coming to Philadelphia to be a part of that Philadelphia sound. And along with Gavin and Huff, Tom Bell was taking on a lot of that load. So that kind of pushed us back in terms of being available, being ready to go into the studio when the record company wanted us to go in. So like I said, they took over the helm of producing the group.
Got it. Well, 3 quick questions and then I let you go. And the first one is, Jason's been in the group for almost 15 years, but do you still think of him as the new guy?
Oh, no. And I have to remind him, you are a part of this. You are the captain of the ship. That's your vocal out there, been singing all the lead songs. So people may want to look at you, or at this point in time, I don't even think they look at him as being the new kid on the block. He's been here for so long, and they're used to seeing him. It just so happened now he's singing lead.
Yeah. Consistently, he delivers the goods. Now,
yes.
Next question, as a person who's been successful for, I'm going to say it's now over 55 years, because that first record deal was like 68 or so. What's the best investment that you ever made?
I would say being true to what I'm doing. Being true to what this business is about. You know what I mean? Along with the love and the caring of my family and all of that, but investing my time and energy back into what we've been doing. And this year will be 57 years. So
a lot of people sorry to cut you off there. We had a little delay there, but a lot of people say, oh, it was the buying my tour bus. In your case,
Well, I mean, those little things that come along with it, but the investment is putting yourself back into what you're doing.
Sure. And the last question, touring is not as relaxed as most people think it is. It's not as fun as people think it is. It's being on call 24/7. How do you decompress on the road? How do you relax?
Well, the thing is that, okay, take for instance, when we do our UK tour, we're working just about every night. We will do a 6-week tour, and probably during the whole 6 week, we probably only have about maybe 5 days off.
Yeah.
But whether it's the UK, Japan, or even touring here in the States, the whole thing is, once you do what you do, you got to realize that you got to shut it down after those lights go off on stage. It's going back to the hotel, getting a meal, relaxing, and then because tomorrow starts another day. It starts all over again. So I'm saying that to say you got to do everything or do whatever you do on the road, you got to do it in moderation. You know what I'm saying? Back up. You know what I'm saying? Sure, everybody wants you to go to this party, go hang out here, go hang out there. But you got to realize, like I said, it's a business, and you got to treat it as such.
Well said. Well, thank you for the decades of great art. Hopefully this is not the last Stylistics album, but if it is, you kind of went out on top. So congratulations on that, and looking forward to seeing you live in New York in the near future.
Well, thank you, Tyler. Speaking of being in New York, we'll be in Westbury on a couple of days from now, as a matter of fact. at the old Westbury Music Fair.
I hope to be there for that. But Herb, in the meantime, thank you for everything and speak to you soon, man.
All right, thank you kindly. Thank you for having me.
Likewise.
Paltrocast.